Okay guys, so here's our next step. Now that our pieces are dry, we're actually going to cut them in half right along the crease. And it's going to be a little bit hard because the glue has settled there, so it's going to thicken up that plastic a little bit. But that's okay. Okay. All right, so now we should have two separate pieces. You're going to do the same exact thing with your second transparency. Okay. So with all four pieces, you're going to start to identify the contour lines. Contour lines is a fancy art word for outline. Now I want to outline the different shapes that my different values and colors have made. And I want to do this on the dry side. You'll notice that this is the side where the glue isn't, it's the shiny side. I want to do it on the matte side where my glue has dried. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the outline in. Okay. And I'm using a thin Sharpie. And it's really important that you use a fresh Sharpie for this. Don't use one that's worn out. So if you need a new Sharpie, let me know. Okay. And then I'm just going to start wherever. I like to start down here because there's lots of detail. So I'll start somewhere here on the bottom. And I'm just going to outline some of these shapes and colors. And it's not going to be perfect, obviously. You're only human. But you decide what it is that you want to focus on and what you want to outline. Just keep in mind that our contours are going to be closed shapes. We're not just drawing lines. We're going to be finding shapes. So there's a little bit here. And then maybe I want to come in here. Okay. Okay, do you see how I'm outlining? For now, I'm outlining the highlights, the lighter parts. But you might want to outline all the dark areas. That's totally up to you. And each person's going to make their own artistic decisions. That's the fun part. Okay. So it looks like I've got a kind of a color change here. So I'm going to outline this big shape here. There's really no right or wrong. You just, again, like I said, you want to make sure that you are outlining shapes and that you're closing your lines, which means you're going to have a beginning and an end to things. And this is kind of taking me all the way around. Okay, so I closed that shape off. Now that's an entire shape. Now I can go inside here, and you can even circle some of the bubbles that your glue might have made. Those are kind of fun to identify. Here's a few bubbles too that I can circle. And I'm just going to do this for the entire piece. Wherever I see a color change or a highlight, you decide what it is you want to outline.
Valley Band members must be in the band room immediately, please. Thank you.
Ignore that announcement. Okay. And I'm just going to keep going for the rest of the thing. And then you'll notice that when I turn it over, I've got this really cool clean outline. So you're going to end up with something, you know, similar to this. Okay, when it's all done, everything is traced. So then what you're going to do is once all of your pieces are traced, you're going to cut them out. And you want to cut along the outline, but you don't want to cut right on it or you're going to lose your line. It's going to disappear. Okay, we still want to see that outline. So I'm cutting really close to it, but I'm not cutting directly on it or I'm going to cut it off. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cut as close as I can. This whole thing. And be careful, if you cut too fast, your scissors will slip right through the plastic and you could end up cutting your whole piece. So just take your time. If I want to do a curve instead of moving the scissors, you can see I'm moving my drawing instead. Okay. All right. So now I have my piece, okay? But I'm not done yet because I want to do this with all of my pieces. Okay. All right, so that's our next step. Have fun.